Evening, guys. 22:17 on Tuesday evening, and sorry for the late video. Just got back, so just trying to get this done in under 20 minutes. Tradingview only allow you 20 minutes, so there's quite a lot to go through. Trying to piece together what's happening and essentially get our target for where Bitcoin is going to end up. Okay, so let's bring in what's been going on. Okay, so we're on the 4-hour time frame. Initially, we had this rising wedge. Okay, measured move for the rising wedge. We estimated to be around about, kind of go from the middle of the rising wedge, and then we basically saw right from wherever this breaks down will be our measured move. So probably put it about here at the time, but breakdown roughly 16,326. Okay, this line here 16,326. Okay, it was quite interesting because what we saw is we saw this breakdown, so we knew that the move was underway, and then what we were looking for was for Bitcoin to find support. Now we saw this support area here, and I think what's happened is, and this is very typical of traders taking your money essentially. What happened was, I would imagine traders, retail traders, were long in Bitcoin here with a very tight stop loss. Okay, going long but tight stop loss just in case price moved down, and lo and behold, the price moved down, and what we saw was a number of stop losses probably taken out. The actual measured move, 16,326, was where all the big buyers were. And then we saw this bounce and a very, very strong move back up to, we were looking at around 17,051. Okay. That was the measured move. Almost we don't need to really look at this particular pattern anymore, but we just need to bear in mind this lower trend line here. So I'm just going to switch that off for the time being. Okay, and then CM10, so current move 10. So posted in group today after that move, that potentially we've got an inverse head and shoulders forming. Let's zoom in. Okay, and we were looking at this particular structure. I'm going to go to the 1 hour time frame actually. Let me reset the chart. Sorry for jumping around. Okay, so we're looking at, okay, it could be an inverse head and shoulders in play here. So we've got the left shoulder. We've had that move down and that move back up. There's your head. Okay. And then we were looking at, okay, is this right shoulder going to form? Are we going to roll over and continue downwards? Or is this right shoulder going to form? And are we going to see Bitcoin move, find support, and then move higher? And we did get that. We did get that right shoulder come in. We were looking for some sort of, bull flag forming. Kind of got that, but we just found support on this 16,788 fib level. Okay, and I'll show you that in a bit more detail in a sec. But essentially what that created was this opportunity to actually make this pattern, put this pattern in play. Okay, we then said, okay, let's have a look at this pattern. If it is in play, let's take a look at the measured move. Okay, so you go from the neckline to, roughly the bottom of the head. And then we were saying, okay, from breakout, we're looking at 17,299 is our measured move if this particular pattern is in play. Okay, so that's where we were this afternoon. Okay, and if I just remove this head and shoulders pattern, you can just see, let me zoom in very quickly. I'm going a little bit quick because we've got quite a lot to go through, and 20 minutes is not a lot of time. So you can see, okay, this fib level, okay, support, drop down, but regain the level, support. Okay, so thoroughly tested as support. So all Bitcoin has to do now, whilst these indicators cool off. So you've got to remember, let me reset the chart. Whenever you see a strong impulsive move like this from Bitcoin, okay, this move up here, the indicators need to cool off. And generally what will happen in a bullish market is you'll have a move up, you'll see a bull flag, and then you get the next leg up. Okay, but we're in a bearish market, so it's slightly more riskier, but we just need Bitcoin at the moment to hold 16,788. So regardless of how long it takes for these indicators to cool off, we just need to hold this level. If we hold this level, fairly confident we'll see the next move up. Okay, but what we've got to have in the back of our head is, the weekly candle close that we discussed yesterday was very bearish. Okay, I'm still thinking that at the end of the week, we're going to end up with a weekly red candle. Okay, but we got some bullish momentum. And I think we went through this yesterday as well. If I go to the weekly, it was a case of, the bears have done their job. Okay, the bears have got bearish engulfing candle. This is the second red candle in a row. Lots of overhead resistance, and it makes sense for there to be some sort of relief rally before the bears apply the pressure again. That's my way of thinking. Okay, so this to me is a bearish setup. I'm still thinking that we'll get that red candle close. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know for sure, but I'm just thinking that, okay, bulls are doing all right at the moment, but really, are the bears going to let the bulls break out and break higher? Okay. So what we've got to do now is let's bring the head and shoulders back in. We've got to assess this pattern. We've got to look at the targeted move, and then we've got to look what's in the way and what's going to stop Bitcoin from getting to this targeted move. Okay, and that's where the other drawings come in that we've already drawn. Okay, so CM10 is there. We're going to just close that group. CM9. Let's see where CM9 is. So CM9. This was a rising broadening channel slightly. Okay, and this is quite interesting. So we've had this move within the pattern. We've seen that breakdown. We've just broken back into the pattern. Okay, we actually broke above and then we're back into the pattern. And if you look here, let me zoom in. Okay, we're finding the top of that particular trend line of that pattern that we were looking at as resistance. Okay, so for now, at the moment, I'm looking at this inverse head and shoulders. I'm looking at my measured move, but really Bitcoin needs to break out, retest, and move higher from this particular trend line. We can see that it's struggling at the moment. So, we had to break out, move back into the pattern, break out, another move back into the pattern, resistance, resistance, resistance. Okay, so initially my thoughts are, okay, 17,299. Yeah, it can be done, but Bitcoin initially needs to break out of this particular pattern. This trend line, key. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to keep this particular selection of drawings in play, so I'm just going to draw in this trend line. Okay, and then I'm going to switch off that one. Okay, so I know that this trend line, and this is just very short term, but I know that Bitcoin needs to get above this trend line to continue to move higher. Okay, so that was CM9, CM8. Let's bring CM8 in. Okay, CM8 is there. Interesting. Okay, so on CM8, I don't know. Let me just have a look. 12 hour. Okay, so CM8 was essentially this head and shoulders that was forming, but that pattern, that head and shoulders, we didn't form the right shoulder, and because of the distance that we've dropped, essentially this pattern is null and void. Okay, but interesting that we've got this line here. So I'm just going to drill back in again. 8 minutes in. So we're looking at, area of confluence here. Okay, so you can understand why Bitcoin is finding it difficult to move above. If we take a look at, so this is 16,910. Okay, and we can see here, look, okay, resistance, support, 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 possible resistance. Okay, support, support, resistance right now. Okay, so this area is a tough area. And for us to hit that measured move, and this is what a lot of people, I think, get, possibly don't sort of realize. They see this inverse head and shoulders, measured move, great, Bitcoin's going to hit that measured move, but then don't realize other patterns that they've already drawn, have areas of confluence or areas of resistance on the particular drawing. And they haven't bothered to sort of bring them in play. So now I'm thinking, God, it's going to be even harder for Bitcoin to break above here and move higher. So I've got to be thinking, okay, Bitcoin might get rejected here. And if it gets rejected here, then potentially we're going to see that move down. Okay, so Bitcoin needs to be trading in this area for us to get anywhere near 17,299, which essentially is that measured move. Okay, so what I'm going to do is so this was CM8. I'm just going to move this particular trend line out of CM8 for now. Okay, and then I'm going to close CM8. Nothing else in CM8 is really of relevance. Major fib resistance, we're not really coming into fib resistance. So major fib resistance is, you know, from 20,000 to 69,000. Okay, so until we hit 70,800, we don't need to worry about that. So long-term falling wedge. Okay, let's remind ourselves. Okay, let's just quickly switch off CM10. I'm going to switch these two off as well. Let's remind ourselves where we're at very quickly. Okay, let's go to the daily time frame, reset the chart. Okay, this is what we're trading in right now. Okay, I need to update this slightly, move these trend lines a bit further down, but this is where we're at. We've got to remember that if Bitcoin hits this upper trend line, it gets rejected, and we're going to see a lot more downside, in my opinion. Okay, we can see it here. It's the top of the pattern. Pick up, hit the upper trend line, touch the bottom, touch the bottom, touch the top, rejection, albeit coincided FTX. Okay, but we're just copying the same thing again. We're just moving across to the other trend line. Okay, if we don't see that breakout there, we've got to expect a rejection. Like I keep saying, until we break out of this upper trend line, we're continuing down. Okay, so you have to break this upper trend line, but strong rejection. Just need to bear in mind that Bitcoin has been trading in this pattern since 14th of August 22. Big deal, really big pattern. It's not going to be easy to break out of this pattern, particularly if the bears want to drive the price lower. Okay, so that's long, that's where we're at. So let's bring back in CM10 back in. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. Let's go back to the 1 hour very quickly. Right click, bring this back in play. Okay, we're wondering whether we can get to 17,299. 11 minutes gone, so I've got 9 minutes left. Okay, so we know ton of resistance up ahead. We haven't even checked the SMAs, the cloud, and everything else yet. So CM9, okay, CM8 we've done. Long-term falling wedge, long-term resistance not in play. Trading range is up here. So until we reach sort of 18,000, that's a previous trading range. We don't need to worry about that. Fib retracement, don't need to worry about that for now. Falling wedge, don't need to worry about that. Bottom target, sub 16 targets, Fed moves. Okay, so this is currently what we're looking at the moment. So strong resistance overhead. We're either going to break higher, retest, move higher, or we're going to get rejected here. Okay. So until we know which way we're going, I wouldn't be trading in this particular area right now. If you bought down here, then fantastic. But if you're wondering whether to enter here, you need to understand that we need to break 16,910 to be able to do that. Very quickly, let's just have a look at this one on the daily. Let me just explain something else to you as well. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the daily and just high-low strategy. Just something to bear in mind right now, okay? So high-low, higher-high, great, okay? Lower-low, downtrend. Are we going to put in a higher-high? Right now, I don't think we are. Okay, so the chances are we'll put in a lower high here, therefore confirming new downtrend. If we put in a higher high, potentially we're in a rising channel. Okay, but I'm thinking that we're not going to break this line. There's a load of overhead resistance. We've got news at the end of the week which could shock the markets Thursday and Friday. And my thought process is, best scenario, we hit 17.2. Okay, but we put in that lower high, thus confirming downtrend, which would mean essentially I would need to sell my position here because the likelihood is we're going to continue in a downtrend. Okay, so just have that in the back of your head. Okay, very, very simple stuff. Higher low, higher high, lower low. Okay, lower high, downtrend. Okay, sell, buy at the bottom of that particular pattern. Come to that if we even reach 17,299, which is the measured move. Okay, so let's now very quickly, 6 minutes left, very quickly, let's bring in, actually, I did notice something on the daily there. Look at this. So let me zoom in. Okay, this line here is 21 SMA, simple moving average. See where the price action is? Okay, rejected 21 SMA. Bitcoin needs to break above that 21 SMA. So what I'm going to do, just so I know I need to take this into account, is I am going to do that. 2 pixels. Okay, I'm just going to try and measure that, line that up. So when I go back to the 1 hour time frame, reset, I know that this particular line here, text 21 SMA daily. Okay, more resistance right there. Okay, so bear that in mind. Right, 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, I'm just going to bring in the SMAs. Okay, let's see where we're at. Okay, good news. We're above the 200 on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, we're above the 200, using that as support. Okay, Bitcoin needs to carry on using the 200 as support. Okay, bad news is we've got the 50 and the 100 up above. Area of confluence with the 21 SMA on the daily, and our measured move 17,299. Sorry. Wrong Bitcoin. Okay, so this. Okay, right Bitcoin this time. So what I was saying is we've got the 21 SMA. Okay, we got the 100 and the 50, and we've got the 382 fib all in this area. Okay, so should Bitcoin break out 6910 and move higher, got a strong area of resistance in and around 17,091. Okay, a number of confluences there: 50, 100 SMA. We've got the 21 SMA on the daily time frame. And then we've got fib resistance 17,091. Okay, so look at this area as an area potentially for rejection. Should we break 6910, target 17,299. Okay, and then I just want to have a look at these same levels on the daily and just see what's going on the daily. See if there's anything that's going to stop the increase apart from that 21. Okay, so again, you've probably got 50 coming in to play. If we reach 17,299, potentially got 50 there acting as resistance. Okay, so I'm still looking to take profits at 17,299. Okay, finally go back to the 4 hour time frame, reset. Again, I'm just looking at what resistance there is above. I'm going to turn the SMAs off. I'm just going to bring in the cloud. Okay, just want to understand where the cloud is. So the Ichimoku cloud, if we break 6910 and manage to get through 17,091, we're going to come against the cloud there. So that's given me even more reason, if we get this high, to make sure I take profits at 72.99. Okay, we'll go through the cloud tomorrow in a bit more detail, just to give you an idea on the long term where we're trading. But this, to me, if Bitcoin manages to get here, I certainly would take profits. I think we're going to put in a lower high here. And I think then we're going to confirm potentially a new downtrend and then see some downward movement. We've also got news at the end of the month. Okay, economic data on Tradingview. Let me just bring in December the 22nd. Let me find it. Initial jobless claims. Okay, take a look at this first sentence. Initial jobless claims have a big impact in financial markets. Okay, so expect volatility on Thursday when that data comes out. And then on Friday, 23rd, we've got the PCE price index. Okay, and that'll give us an idea of how the economy is doing. Okay, the Fed don't want it to do particularly well, but it keeps getting stronger and stronger. So we've got to keep an eye on that data. Okay, and if that doesn't come in as it should, then the Fed will be even hawkish, and then we're likely to see another 50 basis points come in the new year and more rate hikes. So again, expect volatility on the Friday. So very quickly, 25 seconds left. Okay, Bitcoin for me needs to break 16,910. If it doesn't, we're going to face rejection and move lower. If it does, we've got to break 17,091, 382 fib, in order to get to the measure move 17,299. 17,299, I'm looking to take profits, and then I believe that will be confirmation of a lower high and then a new downtrend. Okay, guys, I hope that helps. Shout if you've got any questions.